Hello, thank you for joining me for another lesson in Sage X3. Today's topic, we're going to be taking a look at how to manage your open sales order backlog within the X3 system. One of the very important things, important pieces of information if I'm a salesman or an inside sales representative or a customer service representative, is to work to ensure that the orders that my clients place with me are fulfilled on a timely basis. So X3 provides you with some different tools in the system to help you monitor your open order backlog to work to ensure that everything's fulfilled in a timely way. Okay, so to that end, let's start off by taking a look at some inquiries under the sales menu. So I'm going to come to my sales block, then down to inquiries, then in my orders section, I'm going to go to order lines. Okay, so in this order line inquiry here, I could go ahead and filter by my company or my sales site, filter by a particular product or a customer that placed the order. But if I just want to get the global backlog, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here, and this start date and end date range here represents the order entry date range. So I'm going to come in here and set the start date back far enough that I know that it encompasses all my old orders that haven't shipped yet. Then go ahead and specify the cutoff date through which I want to analyze my orders. Then over here in the order states section, I'm going to go ahead and uncheck this close box. Okay, so now it's going to serve to return to me just those sales orders that are not yet closed. Okay, so with all those parameters in place, I'm going to go ahead and do a search. And that in part will return to me a listing here of all my sales orders that are still open. Okay, so in here I have my order number, the customer that placed the order, the date of the order, the product, the quantity of the product that's ordered, if I have any allocations made yet against the sales order, if there are any shortages. I got information relative if the goods have been picked, delivered, or invoiced as of yet. And I also have the respective monetary value of the order. Okay, the sales site that it's shipping out. So a lot of helpful information this inquiry will include for you. Okay, so what I can do here, if I want to get this information out into Excel to further analyze it, I can come over here and click on my Excel export option. And that will start the extract process here. Then at this menu, I'll click on Export. Then once this green Excel icon pops up, I'm going to go ahead and click on that. Go ahead and open with Microsoft Excel. And that'll go ahead and extract the information out into Microsoft Excel for you. So now you can kind of go about and slicing it and dicing it in the way that you see fit. Okay, so that's one useful inquiry to us. Okay, now some other information in here that might be handy is let's take a look at the orders in process inquiry. Okay, so you might have a scenario whereby you have a particular sales order that you're looking to get filled, and maybe you don't have inventory available in stock, but you know that there's been a production work order or a purchase order that's been issued to fulfill the order, and you're interested in when that work order or when that purchase order is scheduled to be completed. So to find out that information, if I come under my stock menu, then down to inquiries, under products, then I can go to WIPP. Go ahead and specify my site and my product that I'm interested in. Then I'm going to come over here and do my search. Okay, so in this inquiry here, this is telling me for this particular product, this axle grease, I have 2 different sales orders out there, and I have 1 work order. Okay, so in here, I can look at my dates here, and I can see here that this start date here represents the order entry date, so either the sales order entry date or the work order entry date. Then the end date here for the sales orders represents the ship date, and the end date for the work order record represents the work order completion date. Okay, so in this case I can see, okay, this work order here for 48 units isn't scheduled to be completed until the 10th, whereby I have this sales order right here that was due on the 31st of March, so this one's way past due, and I need material for it. So, you know, from this screen, I mean, you have some useful pieces of information here. You know, one, you could get in contact with your production manager and provide him with this work order number and say, hey, we need to get this order expedited ASAP, and by the way, we need to increase the quantity on this work order in order to satisfy this need. Okay, so that's, you know, kind of one action that you can take there. Now, alternatively, if your organization ever has those cases where you kind of need to rob from Peter to pay Paul, I see here that in this case I have an order that is, you know, due on the 18th of September that already has an allocation against it of 130 units. So, you know, that I could, from here, I could tunnel in here, go down to the customer order. Okay, then in here I can see who the sales rep is that's responsible for the fulfillment of this order, and I can also see who the customer is. So, you know, if I wanted to take the inventory allocated to this order and allocate it to my own order, I could get in contact with this rep, get in contact with this customer to see if they could, you know, handle a little bit of a delay so that I could basically deallocate this sales order. I could come here through the allocation button here and do an automatic deallocation. Okay, so that would take the inventory off of this order. Then back at my screen here, I can see that the allocation has been freed up. Then I could take that inventory, tunnel into my order that I'm looking to expedite here, then go ahead and do my allocation step on this sales order. Okay, so that's an approach that, a couple different approaches that you can take in terms of expediting or, you know, interchanging some of the allocations to fulfill your back orders. Okay, let me show you one more useful report in the system that can be of help in terms of analyzing the order backlog. If I come under the reports option here, back at my main menu, then under prints by group, sales, then I'm going to come down to lists. Then in here, I'm going to choose this report here, this S order report, sales order list. Okay. Specify my company. For my date range here, I'm just going to open that up for all open sales orders. Down in my order status range, in this case, I'm not interested in seeing my closed orders. I just want to see the open orders. Then here's my expected delivery date. So I'm going to go ahead and, I could set that, far enough into the past that I know it encompasses all my past due orders that are still open. Then I have my cutoff date here, the shipping date through which I want to analyze. Then for my delivery here, I want orders that are not delivered yet and that have not been invoiced yet. Okay, so I go ahead and set up all my parameters accordingly. Go ahead and do my print button over here in the right list, and that in part will generate this crystal report for me showing me all my open sales orders. Okay, so you have the order number, the customer PO number, the customer, as well as the products and quantities and planned shipping date. Okay, so again, this could be a helpful report that you could run on a daily basis or have printed out for you automatically on a daily basis as another means of staying on top of your order backlog. Okay, so I hope this lesson was of help to you. If so, I'd ask you to please remember to like and subscribe. And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to inbox me.